Alright, welcome back to the channel. Let's check out what's going on with JASMY. So, we are finally out of the Fed meeting. If you're new to my channel for the past week, we've basically been saying we are going to have boring, sideways, choppy action, and we said as soon as the Fed meeting is done, we believe that we are going to start rallying out of this Fed meeting and have a reversal. And so far, we've done it to the teeth. You can see in the last 4 hour rather, we do have a huge influx of volume. If we look at our momentum indicators, we are switching over to a bullish stance, which is very, very nice. And why are we doing this? Well, JASMY is following what Bitcoin is doing. And in the past couple of hours, 2 hours specifically, Bitcoin has put in a huge influx of volume. And why is Bitcoin rallying? Well, Bitcoin is rallying because of the Federal Reserve news, which is what we were talking about, which was why we were sitting on the sidelines until this Fed meeting is done. Now, if you're new, if you don't understand the Fed meetings, basically the Federal Reserve was talking about increasing the interest rate, and they have increased it. It is the largest increase since the year 2000. They increased it by 50 basis points, and if you're not an economist, 50 basis points simply means 0.5 of a percentage. Now, they were initially talking about, or Powell specifically was talking about increasing this by 75 basis points. I wouldn't be surprised if this does come into fruition in the next couple of months, maybe in the next Fed meeting. But nonetheless, I think people were expecting a worse increase in terms of the interest rates. And obviously the higher the interest rate, the worse it is for, I was about to say the economy, but no, I mean, technically in the short term, it's probably the best thing for the economy. At least in my opinion. It depends what perspective from an economist you have. I'm more of an Austrian economist, and you know, technically when you increase the interest rates, all it really does is make it harder for people to borrow the US dollar. So you might be thinking, how does that affect the stock market? How does that affect the crypto market? Well, if it costs more money, so let's say for example, you want to go to the bank and borrow 1,000 US dollars, and you know, last month they'd say, okay, you can borrow 1,000 US dollars, but you have to give us $1,005 back. When they increase the interest rates, it means that you'll now have to pay them, hypothetically, let's just say $1,015 back. So you might be thinking, you know, well, it's harder for me to make money now, so I'm probably going to borrow less money and invest less money in the stock market and less money in the crypto markets. That is exactly why increasing the interest rate is not good for the crypto and the stock markets, but it does allow for inflation to cool down a bit, so it's good for the general economy. But like I said, that's not what we want to see for crypto. Nonetheless, I've been talking about this for a little bit too long, but nonetheless, we've been kind of waiting for the Fed meeting for a while on JASMY. So I mean, at least it makes a little bit of sense to me for me to microdose what was going on with the Fed news before we do jump into the JASMY TA. So jumping into the JASMY TA, let's see what's going on. Starting off with your oscillators. They were recently very, very oversold, and now they are heading up. This is a good sign. If we come over to your momentum indicators, like I said, your squeeze bomb's heading up. You've got an influx of volume. On the daily, I want to see where our EMAs are coming into. And the charts may just be a little bit slow today. For some reason, I think a lot of people are using TradingView, so it takes a little bit of an extra period of time for some of these to load in, saying that they loaded in straight away. So if we look at your daily EMA ribbons, we haven't, I mean, we never really flipped them bullish. Now, what I consider a bullish flip is a push above the EMA ribbons, a back test, and then to push back above the previous invalidation point. And if you look at what we actually did on JASMY, we broke above, we back tested it, and we made a lower high. We didn't manage to break above the previous invalidation point, so it wasn't a confirmed breakout in my opinion. We broke back down and confirmed it as resistance very recently when we did come up for this dead cat bounce into the 618 fib. So are we bullish just because we're moving up 8% as of the time of recording this? Absolutely not. I would be waiting for the dust to settle to see how the markets take in this Fed news over the next 12 to 24 hours. If it's still bullish this time tomorrow, I would expect that Bitcoin is gearing up to move into a bull run phase, and then I would assume that JASMY would soon follow. But we do have some prices to take out before we can consider us to be bullish in the short term. So previously, you can see right here we flipped the 4 hourly EMAs, as soon as you flip the 4 hourly, we basically went on a straight rampage up and took a 37% gander into space. Now, if we do something similar to that today, or in the next couple of days, which I don't necessarily think we're going to play out to the teeth. I do think it will rhyme to what happened before, but I don't think they'll be identical. So you could potentially see us rallying up into the high 2.5 cent regions, maybe even the 2.6, but this all comes down to the basis of rallying, coming down and back testing your 1.95 cent, which is a little bit above us right now. We've got a little bit of a ways to go, and then rallying out of here. And like I said, you're not bullish until you break above that previous invalidation point, or previous rejection point coming down, should I say, right there. So I mean, that's basically it. Like I said, I mean, there's not a lot to be seen in this chart. Technically speaking, I mean, while we are going up today, we're still in the same accumulation range that we've been stuck in. And on the daily time frame, I'd really want to see these EMAs get flipped. I don't think I'm going to enter my next macro trade for JASMY until I do see these daily EMAs get flipped. That could mean I could be entering my next trade at around about 2.39 cent if we do come up in the next... Oh, that's a couple of days or so. I mean, I don't think it'll take that long. So, I mean, hypothetically, I'll update you when we come around these regions, but around the 2.4 cent region, if you do just want to keep an eye on this yourself, go over to TradingView and the indicators I use for the EMA ribbons. I had a bunch of questions for this. If you just type in EMA ribbon, I'm pretty sure it's the first one. It's by Domen Aiko Sile. I'm probably slaughtering that, but yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, like I said, daily time frame 2.4, 2.5 cent. Once we flip that region, I could definitely be looking to make a trade on JASMY. And previously, like I said, we never successfully flipped it. We tried to flip it, we back tested, we made a lower high rather, and then we broke below it. So it's going to be very interesting to see if JASMY is able to make it back above this the next time over. Like I said, that's all I've got for you for JASMY today. We are literally on the cusp of breaking bullish on the 4-hour time frame. Huge influx of volume, very nice momentum indicators showing that the bulls are in control, and that's pretty much all I've got for JASMY today. So yeah, I can't think of anything else that we'd need to talk about. To the downside as well, still keep your eyes on 1.7 cent. If we do have a flush out in the next couple of hours or so, we can be supported by your 4-hourly EMA ribbons down here at 1.85. We also have, let's see here, this was our stop loss, so I don't know, this was just our stop loss, so we walk away in a 5% profit. So let me actually get rid of this because we've already done our trade now. It's been and done. Or was this? No, this was where we entered our trade. Yeah, just before 1.8. So the last trade we had, we were down here and we had a stop loss all the way up here because we had a huge rally, and then we came down, hit my stop loss, unfortunately stopped us out in a 7.5% trade. Not important anymore, that has been and gone. So to the downside, 1.85 needs to hold. I think we are going to be gearing for moves back up to the upside. I don't think we are going to go down after seeing how Bitcoin is reacting to this Fed meeting. However, I'm going to let the dust settle. I'm going to wait for just another 24 hours, see how the market reacts. And then anyway, like I said, I would really be waiting for this macro flip to happen on JASMY before I do hop into my next trade. That is all I've got for JASMY today. As always, none of this is financial advice, just my opinion on the market, and most importantly, cowboy out. Peace.